maps that haven't really been seen yet. It was called Aquapolis, as in Aquapolis, so that there were like islands that were on a hill, and then it was otherwise it was like Team Islands. But I basically just removed the water and turned it back into a land map from there. But he'd already made the corners for me, so I just sort of like used that as I just thought, oh, that's a good idea if I just turn this back into a land map, because the idea was to get to the islands in the corners to get the extra resources. But I just wanted a land map out of it. And then I thought I need a new name because it's called Aquapolis or Aquapolis, and it has no water
Yeah,
on it.
it
So
sounds
let's go
pretty
for
good.
Cornucropolis,
Yeah.
which
Well, here we go. Wow, this would be fun. This would be fun. Both players choosing Celts too, so it's actually a mirrored matchup, which is probably something we're not going to see too often in this tournament, guys. uh,
yeah,
so anyway,
I
we have
just
TaToH here in the blue. He's playing as the Celts, of course, and then we have Juan in the red. Um, kind of what it was explained by SMB is this map is very similar to what we've seen, except in the edges of the corners of the map are extra resources, and I like that. Is uh, it's going to pose interesting. Like if it gets late game, I don't know if I've actually seen many of games on a map like this go late game because the openness
yeah,
of it. But if it gets late game, that'll be really interesting.
yeah. My vision for this map was that it would get to late game, because if you notice, the hills are a bit, the forests aren't quite so just sort of weird, and it's not going to be quite as easy to just sort of attack the enemies uphill from 360 degrees as we often see in Acropolis. And the Acropolis games often get very messy. I feel like this map, with the sort of like slight modifications that I've made to it, will enable it to get a little bit more into the late game. And I was kind of anticipating some quite big sort of uphill pushes and things like that, or attempts to push uphill and try and take and fight with thread wars. And I was hoping that as well, the fact that you need to push out and secure resources in different places would make that more of a late game, because if you lose your hill, you can kind of retreat to somewhere else where there's gold and wood and stone and things.
Yeah.
So I think there's a potentially a lot more. Well, sorry, there is a lot more potential for this to go late game than traditional Acropolis, which is can be very open and messy.
Yeah, I really like this map for sure. It's really nice. I don't think um, there's really anything specific to point out about these players' maps, though.
I
I
was
mean,
actually going to say that I'm sorry for interrupting, but I am just so happy to see this generation, because this is almost the most perfectly fair generation you can
yeah,
get.
yeah,
Like
it is
everything is
nice. Like,
almost in the right place.
yeah, I do like it. Now one thing you'll see is uh, different styles of play sometimes. Like these players will sometimes choose to go high aggression. This is actually um, really sometimes players will go really high aggressive and really like high boom and just try and like control uh, their side of the map with TCs early on. So I've seen pretty much anything on this map. It's kind of exciting. As Celts, though, I don't know. I mean, in a mirrored matchup, doesn't matter what you do because the opponent can do it as well.
Yeah, I think it's really. I mean, Celts are quite often seen on Acropolis anyway, so I was kind of
Yeah, yeah.
predicting it. But I think it's Celts is a really nice civ for if this goes late game on this map, because there are a lot of resources. There's a lot of gold, extra gold to get. There's a lot of wood about in the back of the map, and there's potential for a lot of sort of siege pushes from the tops of hills and things. So I think this would be quite an exciting civ
Yeah,
to
it's the
play
only thing I'm really
and to
seeing
watch
is
on
to
this map.
see the the wood lines are a little bit larger in between the hills or the on the outside of the hills these players TCs start on. And so, other than that, I mean, I'm sure we will see players move out to them at some point as these wood lines get used. But other than that, we're not going to see too much differences between these players' maps. The golds and the stones, pretty much standard uh, locations. So,
Yeah. And the other thing as well, even the resources, the extra resources that aren't in the corners are like as perfectly fair as you can get, and the relics as well. So looks like although my cornucropolis was not cornucropolis, my crisscross was a bit buggy. This one has worked out well.
TaToH just attacking a villager that was on berries there, which is interesting.
Yeah,
And he's
and
probably going to regret that now because his scout's going to get chased all the way back.
yeah,
In other
although
maps, sometimes you will you won't know where your opponent is, but on this, and you have to like scout on this map. You just find the hill and you run up the hill, and the TC will be in the middle. So
Yeah.
it's not really crucial to scout all that much.
TaToH definitely going for a drush,
Yep.
potentially into men at arms, but definitely a drush. As you can see, he's just taking first militias out helping him with that scout, and he's got 10 gold coming in. Obviously, Juan also drushing, but just a little bit later with his first militia.
Juan's gonna camp on that hill most likely and just try and use his hill advantage. Both players might actually do that, but
yeah, it seems like TaToH is going to go slightly to the side, but it's not going to be enough for Juan to not see him. But TaToH's made up the hill.
The scout.
Downhill hits on the scout.
Yeah.
Juan wasn't lucky for a second. So TaToH's more or less negated that hill advantage by his movement. He's managed to climb onto the hill. That was good for him that he sort of thwarted Juan's plan to just camp the top of the hill and force the drush away. Yeah. And now he's going to the wood line of Juan.
Juan has gone up much earlier. I don't know how you feel about that, but he's gone up on 23 bills and he's sending 3 over to gold.
I assume he just wants to go get the man at arms first.
Yeah.
But TaToH himself has not gone up that much later. It's his 2 villages.
That scout's very low there from Juan. It could be picked off pretty easily if TaToH realizes.
HP.
Yeah. So far, none of these guys losing any of their militia, and even scouts.
HP.
I'd say
like
pretty
all
equal.
TaToH's militia are half dead.
Yeah.
Juan has got 1 full HP militia, but with the scout difference, it's
it's hard to call.
It's pretty even.
We're not math experts. We can't add it up that fast. Well,
and
you might be a math expert, but
it would come down to the engagement, like what hits what.
Yeah, pretty much.
Juan adding 4th militia though, so he, as I said, I thought he wanted the man at arms as quickly as possible.
Exactly, yeah.
The fact that he's adding another militia would seem to confirm that. It's 3 villages on gold as well.
One scout's gonna get away because he hit feudal age, but no, he's not. He's not gonna run. Wow. He could have actually run away because he got the extra speed there.
Yeah. And one of Juan's militia going down, the other one on almost no HP at all, so he's going to be down to 3 militia when he kicks in does the man-at-arms upgrade. So if TaToH clicks man-at-arms straight away and just manages to avoid fighting for the next sort of 30 seconds, then the number of militia or men-at-arms will be more.
Is he gonna do it though? He's fighting
for no reason.
Yeah, I don't think he's actually was planning on it. He went archery range right away.
Yeah, he has done. You're right.
And oh, this is big. So I was paying attention. I don't know if anyone on the stream noticed it, but I kind of looked at both these players' ecos real quick. I looked at how many sheep were underneath the TC, and I noticed Juan did not have as much. And look at the sheep here. It looks like Juan has missed them.
Yeah.
On the left side.
That's not a far distance for sheep to be, because the sheep on this map, as pretty much any other map for Call to Arms, can be up to 30 tiles away. The two pairs of far sheep, which is the same as Arabia, but on this map you kind of have a sense that your base is the top of your hill, but the hill's not that big, so the sheep can be off the hill, and I think that's what's led to him not really pushing out and scouting out over there. I mean, he's actually missed them by a tile, or like literally 1 tile, which is really unfortunate. Yeah. But yeah, the sheep aren't any further away than they would be on Arabia. And in fact, I don't know if I might have made them a little bit closer.
I think it would have been wise for TaToH to quick wall his villagers in on gold. I thought it would have been fine had he done that. The camp was in a good position to do that, but he didn't, and he doesn't have many archers out just yet.
Yeah.
To deal with these militia or man-at-arms. Sorry.
He should be able to turn around and pick up a villager now, perhaps. But oh no, they didn't attack. He may still do it. No. But Juan's men-at-arms are taking TaToH off gold at a time when he's trying to produce archers from 2 ranges, so that's really nice for him.
Yeah, it is. But high aggression, which is kind of what we expected could happen. Yeah. Both players actually choosing similar approaches, both going to archers. If you look, Juan actually has more archers, I think, a steady, more on gold right now. He has more archers on the way. I think Juan's in a better position for sure at this point in time with only 3 on gold for TaToH.
Yeah, and obviously those 3 were also pushed away from us, so Yeah, it's looking like TaToH's going to come under heavy pressure here. I expect he's going to be forced to throw up a tower at some point.
Luckily for him, he chose a wood line on the back. His gold's also on the back. I mean, that's really fortunate. Really, really fortunate. He does have some skirms, and the skirms are going
Yeah,
to definitely help him.
that's a great response because if he scouted the ranges for Juan, then he will know that Juan's into archers, and he can probably assume from the fact that his goal's been harassed that Juan does have more archers at this point.
Yeah.
So the preemptive skirmishes are a good idea, and will help to um, ensure that Juan doesn't like end this early with just the greater archer numbers.
Juan seems to be going for a, well, not defensive approach, but a safe approach. He's gotten Town Watch and put up an outpost, so he can see an awful lot of his map right now. The thing
That
is, this
outpost's really nice.
yeah, I mean, this map's always so open, is that things can turn around so quickly once archers get massed. So I think that's a wise choice. He doesn't really know, I guess, that TaToH, maybe because of the score, that TaToH just is mainly skirmishers right now, just defending.
Mm.
Yeah.
Resources roughly the same at this point. Like both players just floating 100 or 200 of each resources, so no big difference in the economies at this stage. Both players losing some units here, but it looks like.
Yeah, I think
no,
Juan's gonna
really
be caught out. He's gonna have to go back
yeah,
with skirmishers in there.
TaToH's got 3 archers in the far south of this base, just doing nothing. I think they chased down the last of them. Yeah, they chased down the last of the man-at-arms, but he could do with bringing them back, so he'd have a much bigger army then. Oh, actually, no, Juan's coming in with another like 7 or 8 units. So both players in roughly similar positions. Juan's just noticed his sheep by one time, that he missed by 1 time, and now TaToH's going to take them.
Yep, I'm pretty sure he will.
Xing them in 11.
It looks like he hasn't actually taken them just yet. It'd be funny if he left them there and
yeah, just so
Juan found him later.
TaToH forced to just quick haul some villagers in his wood line.
Ooh,
Juan
yeah.
isn't going to be able to do too much there apart from maybe pick up a skirmisher or 2. TaToH moving in around the back of Juan's base, but they're going to be seen by that outpost, which was perfectly placed by Juan.
He'll be seen by the outpost, but still he's going to have to run his villagers away.
He still can't do anything once he sees it. Yeah, that's right.
Looks like he does have units coming back now. Let's see what he can see. Yep, he looks like he actually saw them around the houses, I think, so he might just get there in time. Still don't think he can engage with the amount of numbers he has, but...
And that tower for Juan, it's going to help to save his villagers right now, but if another raid comes in later, it's not going to really be positioned properly to help at all.
Yeah, that tower's really bad. It doesn't protect that gold at all. Or either really the wood line, like... Or the other wood line, like, oh no. Man, I don't...
All it does is provide a tiny bit of safety for
yeah.
the villagers to run to, but that's not really that good a use of 125 stone. It looks like Juan's just going to move over there with a lot of villagers, though, to try and force back the largely skirmisher army.
Ooh, but Juan sending villagers back out and then losing one there, that was not good at all. Very rusty from Juan's part. I mean, these villagers now, very, very poor wood economy. And it's like the back corner as well. Juan's being chased away.
Yeah. TaToH's economy looking pretty strong now. He needs to get more villagers onto gold if he's potentially, but he's got a lot of food and wood in the bank. And his overall position is quite good. In fact, the military numbers are relatively even, but it's just that I think TaToH in the last few seconds has picked up a few extra kills.
Well, Juan's still not on gold.
Yeah. I was thinking that TaToH would have larger military numbers at this point, but he actually doesn't. Quite hard to keep track of these balls of skirmishers.
I think TaToH's making a market. I think he just sold some resources. Let's see what he sold.
To the people,
sold some wood.
To the people who are talking about TaToH Tyrant versus the Chinese players in the Clan Masters, those games will be streamed very, very soon in the next day or 2. It's just that as the Vubli team took the decision to stream the recorded games rather than stream them live. So definitely look out for those. They'll appear. We'll try and get it booked into the event calendar when we can and make sure everybody knows when they're going to be streamed.
Yep.
But returning to this game.
So both these guys actually clicking up. TaToH was first to it. Just a couple units down at the bottom, not a huge deal. I think TaToH actually wise to the fact that Juan still had them there anyway. But yeah, so these guys going to, I think with the amount of skirmishers these guys have invested in, going to be going elite skirm. It makes things interesting. Elite skirm crossbow come out, probably as Celt's going to be seeing the siege as well. So
yeah, the response will be mangonels, I'm sure of it. Castle age time's roughly similar. Juan's going to be about 25 seconds later. He is falling slightly behind the population now. A few, like 3 less villagers, 3 fewer villagers, and 4 fewer military units. It's not a gigantic difference, but it is a difference. We're at the point now where each player's balls of skirmishers and archers can pretty much one-shot villagers or more or less.
Exactly.
But a big engagement coming in on the top right, if you can see it.
Yeah, I see
TaToH's
it.
microed that knot as well. He's taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, I don't know if it's even wise to, like, he's retreating, but he's losing units. Maybe it would have been better just to take some units.
And now he's going to be taking downhill hits.
Yeah.
On the left, though, Juan lost that little army, but it's not really.
He is going to get Bod Canero and Elite Skirmisher a little bit earlier, as well as crossbow. Maybe he wants to.
Yeah, it's kicking in right now. He's probably just going to turn around and attack, is he? If he knows those upgrades are coming in.
Not quite, no. Now he does. This could be nice for him. If you look, Juan's attention is on the right-hand side, and Juan could be waiting and keeping all his military there. While on the left-hand side, there is a small band of units coming in, enough to pick off villagers from TaToH. So let's see what Juan can see. Can he? Nope. Not just in his line of sight. He could be caught out.
Have you seen where the sheep have moved to?
Yeah, the sheep are actually closer to Juan. It's really odd.
2 villagers on the stone going to go down there.
Yeah, I think they will.
And Juan is pulling his army away from the right-hand side, chasing TaToH's other ball of units.
Yeah, this is
but
really
even as this goes on, Juan is moving into TaToH's base, but there's a mangonel there. Players are going to be faced with the needing to fight.
Oh, and he's going to see it as well. Is he going to lose the mangonel, though? That's a decent hit. He has the skirms there as well. I think that's going to be a good engagement. And still killing Vills then is TaToH on the wood line. Mangonel coming out from Juan now. He's going to need to be careful. He has two armies, though. He's coming down the bottom side as well. This is beautiful play from TaToH right now. He's going to kill more villagers. He's actually not focusing down the villagers. He's going to need to retreat. But still, wonderful play.
And that sets up a 20 population difference between the 2 players, which is a mixture of villagers and military units.
That's huge deal.
TaToH obviously taking 500 point score lead now. Definitely got the advantage in this game by quite a big amount. Juan does have a mangonel right now, though.
Yeah.
Trying to protect his gold at least.
He's actually switched over to another gold. I have to say, had that tower been placed a little bit better in the first place from Juan, maybe he wouldn't be in such a bad position on that top side, but...
Yeah, if his tower had been more out just in front of the goal towards the back of the map, I mean, or just near the stone or something, it would have helped him to not lose units and villagers and have idle time. But massive thing on the front, Juan attacking downhill, just fired 2 shots and didn't destroy the mangonel of TaToH, and TaToH destroyed it from uphill.
But he could get another one as well. Oh, wow. He was killing villagers at the top wood line as well, SMB. He's getting ballistics first. TaToH's all over the place right now.
14 villager lead. Yeah, this is incredible play by TaToH. He's just managing to devote micro to so many places at once at the moment. It just Juan's head must be spinning because he's just got the skirmishes and crossbows popping up in everywhere. As that mangonel shot does come in,
that was
finally wins a mangonel fight. That was a nice shot.
Was caught in 2 minds, really.
But Juan still hasn't got a second town centre, whereas TaToH has 3 running now. So that's pretty big. Like, TaToH already has a big villager lead of about 15, and he's got town centres. So time is ticking against Juan now. He's going to be able to defend for the moment with his number of mangonels, but TaToH's just going to boom.
I mean, this is the eco situation. Juan's still in 1 TC. We have 3 for TaToH behind all of this. There's been a lot of engagements that TaToH has been taking, so it's been hard to focus on all that. But Wow, that villager now 1 HP from 1. So
3 mangonels trapping the army of TaToH. Look at this.
yeah, he's not gonna. He's probably
He won't
really
lose it, 'cause
confident
there's
right
a gap
now.
in that forest.
Yeah. He's probably really feeling
Ooh,
good about
that's
himself, but he's gonna need to go back.
Useful shot though.
But anyway, Juan can't try and reboom into this game. He just cannot. He's 22 villagers down. He's lost too much. He should know this. Like, he needs to push and try and you know, just do some damage here. Now, interesting decision from TaToH. He's actually getting +2 defense on knights, and that could work out, but if it doesn't work out, that might just be the advantage that Juan needs if he is actually trying to reboom into this game. And if he's able to defend with crossbows, I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna depend if Juan loses all those mangonels. That will be quite definitely. Then the knights will have been worthwhile.
There's no support for the first mangonel for sure. The knights are going to come out, and they should be able to pick that off quite easily, and that's going to alert Juan of the situation. Yeah, he needs to probably go heavier into crossbows to be able to pick off the knights. And as you can see, the crossbows.
Are those knights going to reach the mangonel and take it down? Because if the mangonel, yeah, they're going to get it down, aren't they?
It can be
if
repaired.
The mangonel had survived that.
Wow.
No. If the mangonel had survived that, then 1 or 2 shots on the skirmishes and the crossbows would clean up the knights, and then that would be a great engagement. But now it's not looking so great. I mean, TaToH is pulling back, but
all Juan had to do was use
knights.
his 20 villagers there to, not even 20 obviously, but he had 20 villagers there to repair that mangonel, and he was too late. That's a huge deal. And again, he's been pushed back, and he doesn't have the eco now. He's nearing 30 villagers behind, and he has gotten the extra TCs up, but
the only thing though that with being behind in this game is that the opponent has got to push uphill to kill you.
Yeah.
So if it allows players to come back, and Juan at least has town centres up in the vulnerable part of his base, which are those mines in the north. Knights moving in now, and they're going to be shot up by 2
and I just think that mangonel will go down. Another knight's coming in. I hear a monk as well, and it looks like conversion.
Yeah, it's behind.
Yeah, it's behind the blacksmith. Yep. And you're right about the hill advantage being a huge deal right now.
Yeah. Look at that mangonel shot coming as well.
I have to kind of disagree right now with the nice mangonel micro there actually from TaToH. He's invested an awful lot into knights. He's lost a lot as well. He is going to push in, but I don't know if it was really the best decision. I think he has a huge advantage right now. It might still work out for him, but maybe not as good as it would have been had he just, you know, rode on his eco advantage. He does have a mangonel coming in, 1 knight on 1 HP, but
those villagers need to turn around and punch the knight, but
yeah,
they don't.
I know.
They run away.
TaToH's clicked up to the Imperial Age. I think these mangonels are going to play because this knight is pretty much non-existent. The 2 mangonels here from Juan and the 1 from TaToH are going to play a huge part.
Yeah, 1 knight could pick off that mangonel on the left though. As Juan's mangonel on the right goes down as well.
Oh my god, that was huge.
Not TaToH still has at least the ability to make 1 more shot at having.
Oh, he's missed it though. He's missed it. Yeah, that was good micro from Juan. But still, look at all the idols now from Juan. They're trying to build the TC and they still cannot get it up. Juan's fighting skirmishers with crossbows.
The important thing is as well that TaToH now has a bit of a foothold on Juan's hill, so that he's no longer fighting uphill. He can kind of pour knights in through that gap in the houses if he wants to, or any other units.
He'll most likely get a castle up and
that 1 knight on 1 HP is still killing villagers. Like, just punch the knight.
Yeah.
He obviously hasn't.
He's probably going to try and convert it here. I don't think he realizes. Okay, it's going to go down, but I mean, he has enough stone for castle. I'm not sure where he's putting it. Okay, back.
Yeah, he's putting it right at the front where TaToH is putting siege workshop. So TaToH is going to go for siege rams, probably as his first way of trying to push up that hill. And with the castle coming up and some mangonels firing downhill on the rams, that could buy Juan a bit of time. The villager difference is not that much anymore. It's only 10, but obviously TaToH's had those villagers working for longer, so he's collecting more resources. The sheep on the left, they're now just scouting Juan's woodline with sheep. I love that.
Well, he hasn't used them, which is pretty cheeky. I mean, he's actually left them there. He could have taken them, but you know, up to the Imperial Age now is TaToH. He has the Rams coming out. He has enough for Cap Ram and Siege Ram. He hasn't had his castle up and creating Woad Warriors, which is late game Celt meta pretty much. He's getting Iron Casting. He has Knights still being created. I'm kind of interested to see what his unit choice is, TaToH. Now he could make a Treb right off the bat and start firing upon Juan's castle. Juan, I think, expecting the Woad Raiders, he's actually made a Scorpion there.
Yeah. I'd like to see Juan just block up that hole in front of his castle to stop the siege rams coming in. Like just a couple of extra houses or just a couple of war tiles just to buy his castle some time if the rams do spring out and attack. But otherwise he'll need to keep mangonels there. He has got one actually. But it seems like the game's stabilised. TaToH did seem to have a very commanding advantage, and he's still got the initiative, having got up to the Imperial Age first, with a little bit better economy at the time. But it's definitely stabilised into a more even contest again now.
I think it's stabilised because the choices that TaToH has made, he's gone a little bit too heavy in the Knights. He's actually choosing to go Cavalier. And if Juan sees this, he might just go into Halb and Woads. But he's putting castles up on the front, and he could lose them pretty quickly at this rate. I mean, if Siege Ram comes out shortly from TaToH, he has nothing really to defend except a couple Mangonels, I guess, against that. And it's going to be really hard for him.
Juan actually deleting those houses at the.
Do you see TaToH bringing his Cavalier from behind? He could pick off the Mangonels.
Yeah. Oh wow. Juan needs to react with those monks very quickly, but he also.
He's
he
only
can still
like,
get a couple of mangonels.
Yeah. He could go for him.
And more coming in from the front with the siege rams. Oh, this is big. This is big.
He has Iron Casting.
Second castle though, at least.
Yeah. He's gonna get the mangonels. The castle, he has 2 trebs on it. The siege rams are coming in. That was such smart play. He ran those. He's gonna get all the mangonels. And there's the GG there from Juan. Wow.
That was such a nice play there at the end. Huge play. It looked like Juan had everything in place to try and stop those rams pushing up the hill, but then TaToH just kind of draws them away and just comes around the back and just annihilates them at the same time as he brings the rams in one like perfect pincer movement. That was a lovely play to end the series on.
It was really nice. Like if you watched, TaToH had sent his Cavaliers the entire way around the hill, and then looped back around the castles. Now, I think even if the Siege Ram upgrade wasn't in and pushing, I think TaToH still would have had it. He had Elite Woad Raider coming in. He had a lot of extra resources and just had the advantage. But the Cavalier snipe, if you could say that, was really nice from TaToH. So anyway, that makes it 2-1 to TaToH. Everyone was someone joked that TaToH wanted to make the
He's done it just in time.
So he's done it just in time, yeah.
Wow, that's such strong play, like managing to see a football match and win your series at the same time.
Yeah.
So that means that TaToH is officially the first call to arms champion who will progress into the second week and face a new challenger. It may not be exactly week on week because it needs to be all set up and everything and figure out who's going to play, potentially with a little bit of a community vote as well. But that puts him probably with lots of confidence going into the last Polaris, in which he's playing in on Monday at 14 GMT as well. In some ways, it's kind of fitting in a kind of I don't know what word to use, but the fact that the guy who has all these accounts where he uses all the civilizations is becoming the first champion for this tournament, which is all about using the different civilizations. Next week, since TaToH will be the champion, he will be allowed to use one of Huns, Maids or Aztecs just once, so he can only pick one of those civs. It's a little one-time bonus to allow the champion to hang in there as his choice of civilizations is whittled down, because next week he won't be able to use Celts, he won't be able to use Japanese, and he won't be able to use what was it that he chose? Persians?
First game was Persians. Second game was Japanese. And third game was obviously Celts.
Yeah, so all of those civs are unavailable to TaToH next week, but he will be able to choose one of Huns, Maids or Aztecs as a little bonus to him, whilst his challenger will have free choice of everything but Huns, Maids and Aztecs. And next week we'll switch into a home map system, so both players will have one home map each, and then there'll be one game where the map is chosen, probably by me. But in the future, it may be different sponsors or donors choosing maps as well. So I hope you've all enjoyed the first week of Call to Arms and seen what it has to offer with the kind of like non-mirror matchups and some new maps. I think as the tournament progresses and we see more different non-mirror matchups, more of the maps and players get used to it a little bit and used to the format, I think it'll start to showcase lots of different things. So yeah, just hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you're all looking forward to seeing more of it.